It is Monday night, and we are live once again. The Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series. It's round number 5 from the Dover International Speedway, the Superior Performance Motorsports 75. I'm Jeff By Jr., joined by Bill Tomer in the broadcast booth. And Bill, we've got 31 drivers on hand, and it's something completely different. We've never seen the Super Late Models in ITZR on such a big racetrack. 1 mile, the Monster Mile. We're going to do something just completely different tonight.
Yeah, Jeff, this one is, I'll say, out of hand. We've gotten a little bit out of our box tonight, Jeff. It is going to be a crazy, crazy event. The Dover Mile, I can't even believe we're here, Dover Motor Speedway. We do things a little bit odd here. We like to take chances here to the zone racing, and our setup builders came to us this season and said, hey, why don't we do something different? Let's go run Dover in a super late model. So here we are doing about 170 miles an hour down the straightaway in a super late model. Incredible.
Yeah, and it's going to be a matter of who can adapt. You know, these are mostly short track guys, and it's going to be a matter of who can adapt to it. And in practice, Hugo Paquette, and he's one of the guys I thought, you know, he seems to be really smooth, the likes of the tighter race car. I thought that Hugo might be one of the faster guys tonight. And of course, he's top of the board, 23.576 in practice. And one of the other guys I thought of too is former Pro Series driver Alex Mccollum. He's one of those Coca-Cola Series guys. He's got, you know, tons of time on these bigger racetracks. He's going to be one to watch tonight as well.
Well, Jeff, we are quickly into qualifying.
Yeah, qualifying set to begin. Tonight, the International Short Track Association Quick Time Award on the up for grabs here is 31 drivers going to go for quick time, 5 bonus points, and a $5 bonus tier end of season payout available.
And these guys have 0 time to get out there, Jeff. It's 3 minutes for qualifying. They have to get out there and do their laps as quickly as they possibly can. If you weren't ready for qualifying to start, you are in trouble, as you need to hit the racetrack and get moving. As we see Jeff Rivard out there, Caden Fisher in the 18 machine. These guys going to try to set quick time.
Crystal Clark with us already in the Facebook chat. Hey, Crystal, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We'll see Donald Clark out there in a bit. First car on the board was Hugo Paquette, 23.616. We'll see if he improves on that second lap. He was a little bit quicker. He ran a 5 in practice. Not going to do it on his second lap. He's going to actually call it quits there. Cole Cabrey, second fastest so far, 23.661 for Cole.
Cole's going to park it as he's off the racetrack. Here with Corey Bigley. Looks like he's going to finish his second lap in that 28 machine. He'll slide into the third position. Peyton Howell on the racetrack in the 52.
Peyton, fourth fastest so far, 23.747 for Peyton Howell. Jason Warren, fifth fastest, 23.777 for Jason Warren.
Zach Owen, Super Zach, out on the track in the 42 popcorn machine. He's going to slot into the 7th spot in that race car.
Angel with us, cheering for Brett Suggs in the 33 car. John Piet with us. Hey, John. We'll see John tomorrow in the Late Model Challenger Series.
Rick Rube in the 81. He's got a new paint scheme this week, Jeff. A silver car for the 81. Looks like a Gallop and Ghost type car there. Eric Tracy in the 67 also on the racetrack.
Eric with us, cheering for Super Zach.
Aaron Johnson jumps up to P5. He's listed as the number 21 car this week, Jeff. That's different.
Yeah, that's a number change. He requested that during the week. Wanted to switch it up from the 78 to the 21. So new numbers on that car.
Peter Fisher in the 71 machine goes P9. That's a good run for Peter. Dover might be something Peter's enjoying here. That's a really nice qualifying effort out of the SD Ireland Company's race car.
Dylan Bates sitting 10th right now, and then they just get bumped down. It looks like Brett Suggs, P4, 23.681 for Brett Suggs.
Brett Suggs in the green machine will go P4. He gets bumped to P5 as your defending series champion. Thomas Axum just went to P2. Hugo Paquette defends all comers. He's going to be your International Short Track Association Quick Time Award winner in that number 33 car. Jeff, it's the return of the slow dash.
Well, Bill, surprise here in the slow dash as well. Alex Mccollum, who was second fastest in practice, did not get a lap completed in qualifying, so he will be in this slow dash tonight and going to try to improve his positions.
That usually means you found a wall in qualifying.
Yeah, not sure what happened there, but obviously did not get a completed lap in, so either crashed or bounced it off the wall, who knows. But Alex is going to find himself in this slow dash tonight.
So, of course, if you are an ITZR fan, you know what the slow dash means. It is the group of race cars that would have normally been in the B main, but we did not have enough cars to. We're going to run up to 32 tonight, big racetrack, a big field. But these are your drivers that were going to be in the B main, so we give them an opportunity to kind of do a 12, actually it's going to be a 17-lap test session, Jeff. So Mark Herzog in the 57 machine, he's going to roll off on the pole. And you said it already, the number 1 car, Alex Mccollum, going to start outside. Starting in the second row, Fred Moreau making his return to In the Zone Racing in the 5 car to his outside. Looks like it's going to be the 09 of Elliott Carlson, as Bladen Edwards did not grid. Cade Brown also didn't grid in the 16 car, so Jeff Rivard going to start shotgun on this field in the 72 car.
So Bill pace car lights are out. We're going to send them right here, right off of pit road. So Mark Herzog, Alex McCollum, Fred Moreau, Elliott Carlson, Jeff Rivard, your 5 drivers in this slow dash. Everybody's going to move on to our feature event. As you said, we lost a couple drivers there after qualifying. Bladen Edwards, Cade Brown not with us. But here we go. They are off and running. 17 laps here around Dover for this slow dash. Mark Herzog off and away. Alex McCollum trying to chase down that 57 already on the outside.
17 laps kind of being a test session almost for tomorrow night's series, late model challenger series. We expect a huge field. We actually started inviting some of the guys from our waiting list from that series. So that's going to be an enormous field. So you see Alex McCollum to the inside of Mark Herzog quickly here, as we need to see how well the upper line does, as Herzog going to try to get the momentum down the front straightaway.
Herzog going to try the over-under, gets down back to the bottom into turn 1, forces McCollum back up the racetrack. Let's see if Herzog gets the run off turn 2. This is a little tricky place here off turn 2. The banking kind of fades away. It starts to push a little bit. That could be a trouble spot tonight for a lot of cars.
Side-by-side racing into turns 3 and 4. Alex McCollum up the hill. Here comes Herzog on the bottom. We saw Herzog get a good run off the top last time off of turn 4. Alex not able to do the same thing. Herzog to the bottom. They'll be side-by-side through 1 and 2.
This is the fun part of seeing these super late models on speedways. How often do you see guys run side-by-side like this? And as they do so, here comes Fred Moreau. Now, Moreau is right there in the discussion for the race lead. Which lane is he going to choose to take?
We're watching everybody throw a blanket over your top 3, and here comes Elliott Carlson in the 09. He's starting to make up some ground, as we're going to have 4 cars under a blanket for the top spot as McCollum and Herzog continue to run side-by-side.
Herzog and McCollum cannot settle this one here as we work lap 4. Herzog inches ahead by a nose, but McCollum just has so much momentum off the corner on that outside line. And you can see that car just comes off the corner, and now he kind of lost some momentum there down the front straightaway. He uses that risk of losing a position all the way to Elliott Carlson.
Might be some draft happening here, Jeff. I heard some people talking about that in practice. Some of our drivers here in the booth with us, or we were on the radio with them. And here comes Moreau. He's going to look to the inside of Herzog. Can't make the move, but they're going to be side by side off of turn 4. But again, back to that draft, Jeff. We'll have to check to see if one of the cars gets up behind another one of these cars, and that pushes them forward.
Fred Moreau making a season debut in the Late Model Shootout Series. A longtime racer at In the Zone Racing. Rejoins here in the Late Model Shootout Series Season 8. And his first start here at Dover, trying to take this lead of the slow dash from Mark Herzog. Herzog now on the outside, but he's firing back. He drove that thing off into turn 3. Gained a ton of speed through the center, but not going to have the speed coming off the corner.
Boy, these guys putting on a show for these top 4 spots as they are all over each other. We finally go nose to tail as we see position swapping all over the place. Elliott Carlson looking under Alex McCollum. Alex McCollum with a little bit of a high entry, low exit, trying to get the speed down the back straightaway. Can't do that. Herzog right up behind Moreau. These guys all over each. I'm shocked, Jeff. This is fantastic.
Yeah, Fred Moreau out front, Mark Herzog in second, Alex McCollum third, Elliott Carlson fourth, Jeff Rivard back there in the 5th spot. Here comes McCollum now, makes a move to the inside. Herzog going to give him the bottom, and off turn 2, McCollum's going to try to get there on this 57 car, but again, I think it's going to be very tough to pass all night long. These cars on the outside seem to get great momentum up there.
Yeah, the top side definitely carrying some momentum, but now Alex McCollum going to clear him off at turn 4. Just as we said that, we thought Herzog might have been able to battle back. He didn't. Now Alex McCollum going to set sail and try to get to your leader in the 5 car.
Well, we might start seeing what we've been talking about early on in this practice session. We heard from some of our setup builders that this is going to be a tire management race. This is going to be about who can protect the tires, who can keep that right rear from getting too greasy, getting too hot. And the guys that can protect those tires are going to move forward late in this race. And right now, you see Alex McCollum, Fred Moreau starting to drive away from Mark Herzog. Herzog led a lot of this slow dash. now starting to fade.
Yeah, I wonder how quickly the tires start to degrade on these race cars. As we watch Alex McCollum start to move forward, start to get to the back of Fred Moreau. He's got the momentum. He's right there on the back bumper entering turn 1 and takes a really high entry. Look at this, Jeff. Really high into turn 1. Will jump inside Fred Moreau as he comes off of turn 2. But Alex McCollum starting to make some moves here in the 1 as we're back inside the McCollum car, looking at the rear bumper of that Moreau machine.
Yeah, I think Alex is trying some different things here. You know, this doesn't really hurt him at this point to maybe use the tires up, try some different things, see what's going to work, and use it later in the race. He's going to have a ton of cars to pass later on tonight, so he'll be starting deep in the 28s or so position. So he's really going to have to figure out how he's going to pass cars tonight.
And as we said that, he has a little bit of a connection issue going into turn 3. Car blinked out on him, but Fred Moreau able to gap him just a little bit for that lead. So he's got about a car length lead on Alex McCollum. McCollum just a little bit higher up the hill, starts to try to do that high entry, low exit, see if he can gain some momentum. Like you said, Jeff, probably tested for tonight's A main.
They got by, they're going to see 4 to go. So time's starting to tick away here in this slow dash. Fred Moreau still out front. Alex McCollum trying some different lines, trying to figure out what's going to work, how he can set up this 5 car and make this pass. But right now, Fred Moreau still out front comfortably, and Fred kind of moving up the racetrack as well. So he's opening up his entry, and that's forcing Alex to open it up more. And here comes McCollum with a run down the back straightaway.
McCollum to the inside of Fred Moreau entering turn number 3. Mark Herzog had just started to enter the picture. McCollum having a little bit of connection issues. We see that number 1 continue to blink out. Fred Moreau's going to let him go. Going to try to cross him over down the front straightaway. Can he use the draft to do so? He will. They'll be side by side entering turn 1.
Moreau back to the bottom into turn 1 and 2, and McCollum out on the outside. Let's see if he can make it stick this time. He's going to edge ahead of the 5, but just slightly as they head into turn 3.
Side by side through turns 3 and 4. Great racing from these two leaders. They're going to come to get 2 cross flags, or the two sticks are up, as we got 2 laps remaining in this event.
McCollum led that lap. He scored the leader, but Fred Moreau there on the line. McCollum sideways off turn 2. That's going to stack up. The guys behind them is now Herzog and Elliot Carlson got together down the back straightaway.
Elliot Carlson into the wall entering turn 3. Moreau going to clear Alex McCollum through turns 3 and 4. McCollum going to try to cross him over. White flag is in the air.
One more lap to go. Fred Moreau out front, but here comes McCollum. McCollum makes the dive down to the inside once again, and we'll see who gets the run off turn 2. Mark Herzog is back in the conversation. He gets sideways down the back straightaway, but he is trying to gain on these 2 leaders as they race side by side into 3.
Fred Moreau and Alex McCollum side by side through turns 3 and 4. McCollum going to clear. Here comes Herzog trying to make the move on Fred Moreau. Can't do it. That'll be 1, 2, 3. Moreau was about to make the move back. Holy cow, if that is a precursor to what we're going to see for this A main, this might be the most fun race we're going to have all season. Alex McCollum, your slow dash winner.
Yeah, that was fantastic racing there, and really just a kind of a preview of what we're going to see as drivers take to the track for their final 2-minute warm-up. This is the last chance to get on the racetrack, see what it's going to do, what the weather is doing to the racetrack, and maybe get a little bit of extra time on those tires, and maybe one last run on the tires and see what that right rear tire is going to do, because as we saw, guys were starting to get loose as the run went on there. That was just 17 laps. These guys got to go 75 tonight.
I don't know what we're going to see, but this is, like I said, if we're going to see anything like that, it is going to be crazy. As tonight we will have 30. How many did we end up with, Jeff? About 29 drivers? I think it's just right around there, 29 drivers.
29 take part, and lost Bladen Edwards. I think he was having some connection issues, and Cade Brown came into practice, ended up not running any practice, so not sure what happened there for Cade, but 29 drivers partaked in qualifying and tried to make an attempt at this race.
So 29 drivers going to start the main event tonight here, 75 laps at Dover, and if that is any indicator of what we're going to see all night long, this is going to be extremely exciting. A lot of close racing there as those 4 drivers put on a show for that slow dash, or B main, whatever you want to call it. Alex McCollum able to make it past Fred Moreau, but Moreau was about to battle back. That was going to be exciting for many more laps. So this should be very interesting for the lead tonight and all the way through the field. These drivers have about 20 seconds remaining in their warm-up session. So you can see the cars streaming by in the background. The Superior Performance Motorsports 75 tonight in the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series.
Cheyenne in the chat cheering for Dylan Bates. And last week's Challenger Series winner at Hickory, Bo Ledbetter, is here cheering for the SPM boys. Bill, I'll let you go ahead and name off all those SPM drivers.
I don't have a roster, Jeff. There's just two.
It is a laundry list of them here tonight in the Superior Performance Motorsports 75, but that is the end of our warm-up. We are going to start gridding for tonight's feature event.
All right, Jeff. Looks like most drivers have loaded into their race cars, ready to be to go for 75 laps tonight. Starting on your pole in the number 112 machine, that is Del Mears, and to his outside in the number 33, it's Brett Suggs.
Starting third tonight in this Superior Performance Motorsports 75 is the 28. That is Corey Bigley on the outside of him. The points leader here in the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series, the number 54, that's Cole Cabrey.
Starting in the 5th position in the number 13 machine, that is the defending series champion. That is Thomas Axum, and to his outside, your quick time on the night. After a 6-car invert, he will roll off 6. That's the 33 car of Hugo Paquette.
Aaron Johnson was scheduled to start 7th in tonight's feature event, but he's going to drop all the way to the rear of the field with a penalty from last week. On the outside, starting 8th will be the 31. That's Daniel Pope.
Starting in the 9th position in the 65 machine, that is Aaron Abendroth, and to his outside in the 52, that is Peyton Howell.
Peter Fisher will roll off 11th tonight. On the outside of him will be the 91. That's Dylan Bates.
Starting in the 13th position in that 67 machine, that is Eric Tracy, and to his outside in the 42, it's Super Zach Honan.
Starting 15th tonight will be the 32 with Jason Warren. On the outside of him, the former Challenger Series champion, the 18, that's Caden Fisher.
Starting in the 17th position in the other 18 car, that is Donald Clark, and to his outside, we call him the crew chief around here, that's the 60 machine, that's Parker Traves.
Starting 19th will be the 19. That's Wet Willie Howells on the outside of him. And the 20th starting spot will be the 9 of Colby Bryant.
Starting in the 21st position in a new paint scheme this week, it's the ravishing one, Rick Rube. And to his outside in the familiar 212, that's Jonathan Sanford. Starting
23rd tonight will be the 17 of AJ Rogers. On the outside of him will be the 11 car. That's Tom Dreiling.
Starting in the 25th position, you just watched him win the B main event. That's the 1 car, the Dominator, Alex McCollum. And to his outside, making his return to In Zone Racing Late Model Shootout Series, that's the 5 machine of Fred Moreau.
Starting 27th tonight, came from our slow dash, the 57 of Mark Herzog. On the outside will be the 09, that's Elliot Carlson.
Starting shotgun on the field in the 72 machine, that's Jeff Rivard.
As we said, Aaron Johnson going to tag the rear of the field tonight after a penalty. Going to give up the, I believe it was 7th starting position. So big penalty there for the 21, but going to join at the rear of the field. 29 cars. Bill, we're going to see the pace car lights go out when they cross the line this time. That gives us a little time here if you want to maybe pick a car you think is going to win tonight.
I have no idea, Jeff. This is the hardest pick we'll ever make, as these guys have never even been on this racetrack. I don't think I've ever seen a super late model in this racetrack. So if I was going to take a car, oh boy, that's not fair to make me go first. I really don't like this. I'm going to go with the champ. I mean, what are you going to do? Go start from the top, we'll go down. I'm going to start with the 13 car. I think Thomas Axum figures it out and gets to the front tonight.
Well, I'm looking at the guy who set fast time. He's going to start right next to Thomas Axum, the 33 Hugo Paquette. That's going to be my pick tonight. He seems to really like these big, wide, sweeping racetracks, and he does a great job of managing tires. So I'm going to go with that 33 Hugo Paquette as my pick tonight. But this is a stacked field, 29 of the strongest sim racers on iRacing. And usually short track guys, but tonight we're going to see what they do on the speedway. Just something completely different. It's really going to be a matter of who adapts the quickest tonight.
Yeah, it's something completely and totally different, foreign to what these guys normally do. They had an hour to figure out how to drive this car on the Dover Speedway. Dover Motor Speedway. And you can see from the B main, they figured it out pretty quickly, so this should be a fun race.
Yeah, you said it, just an hour to adapt. They don't even get the setup beforehand. You start in practice, you get 1 hour with the setup. That is it. Right now, Delmir's going to fire him off. Brett Suggs in second. Here's got a great start. I don't think anybody was expecting him to go so quickly, but he is off and away to the race lead.
Delmir's going to lead the field into turn 1. Everybody getting sorted out very quickly. You see a lot of cars already going single file through the first corners. Delmir's into the wall in that 1-1-2 machine. Brett Suggs got into his rear end. You do not want to do damage to the front end of your race car at this racetrack, because these guys are doing 170 miles an hour to the front straightaway.
You Dell to the top of the racetrack now. Here comes Cabry up the inside. Is Brett Suggs going to lead lap 2? Or actually lap 1 now as they start lap 2. Brett Suggs, your leader. Caution is out. Trouble further back in the field.
We had trouble. Looked like it came from possibly Caden Fisher and Jason Warren might have made contact with each other.
Yeah, it looked like they tried to go 3 wide. Zach Onan got into the wall, and Caden tried to shoot up the middle of that 3 wide, made contact, and Caden went around. Not a ton of damage to the 18, but he definitely got a piece of the inside wall.
Yeah, not a whole lot anybody could really do there. And then a little far, looks like Colby Bryant catches a little bit. Looks like, I mean, that started with the 42 of Zach Onan, gets into the outside wall, and the guys behind him didn't check up. Caden tried to make the move and made a little bit of contact and dropped down into the front end of Jason Warren. I think those guys are pretty much okay. Caden does have a little bit of damage on that 18 machine.
Yeah, I think Caden Fisher kind of got the worst end of that one. Colby Bryant also got a little damage. Zach Onan bounced it off the wall. I think he's going to be okay. But basically a 3-car incident there is the 42, Zach Onan, just kind of bounced her off the wall, and that really slowed his momentum in front of everybody.
Yeah, we didn't get very far before we got a nice little dust up there, Jeff. I see Eric Tracy might have some damage on his race car. Take a look at the 67 here, so we can get a little closer to it. Oh, no, he looks good.
I see a little damage to the 5 of Fred Moreau. He's going to come down pit road and repair some damage to that car. Not sure what happened to Fred there. But
it's pretty smart, right? I mean, you have like a month and a half.
Yeah, tons of time here to pit and repair damage. But, I missed what happened there with Fred. Maybe stack up further back in the field as guys were slowing down to avoid the incident.
Yeah, he and Elliot Carlson may have made contact there as Carlson ended up turned around on the front straightaway. Fred Moreau, big damage on the front of that number 5 machine.
Bill, this is going to set up a single file restart for this one. So something a little different here, a single file restart on a big racetrack. It'll be interesting to see how Brett Suggs handles this, if he's going to kind of do what they do at the short tracks and take this thing all the way up to the fence and try to get a run down the straightaway, or is he going to run a more traditional line here?
Jeff, we finally got our first comment in the Elite Performance Industries Facebook chat, Jeff. Dustin R. Price says, Elite for the win. So let's try to figure out if we can see... Trying to see who our top elite driver is. I know of at least one in the field. Usually Ryan Matthews. We've seen Ryan Matthews in this field before, but not tonight. He would be a driver we'd be looking for. I think it might be Alex. Alex Mccollum might be the top running Elite Performance Industries driver.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think we have a lot of the elite drivers with us tonight, but Alex is certainly one of them. Didn't have the qualifying effort he wanted, but he's going to be fighting his way to the front by the time this is over. I mean, he is a really fast driver, and this kind of track is something he is used to as former Coke Series driver. Watch out for Alex Mccollum tonight. This is a race I think he's going to be very, very strong in. But right now, Brett Suggs, as I said, he is going to take this thing all the way up to the fence. That is a long way around, but he's going to get a massive run down the straightaway when he fires this thing off and takes this green flag racing. Single file restart here at Dover, lap 5, back to green.
Wow, big gap between all your top drivers as Brett Suggs was able to get a huge jump. Cole Cabry got a big jump over Del Mears. A little bit farther back, here comes Daniel Pope in the 31. He's going to be the inside of Corey Bigley. Right behind him, Peyton Howell and Dylan Bates. They're going to do battle. Bigley finding himself on the high side. We saw some guys make moves in the B main up there. Looks like Corey's going to try to slot in behind Aaron Abendroth as they come off of turn 4. But here comes Peter Fisher. Peter thought about the move, didn't make it. Eric Tracy there in the 67.
Alex Mccollum is trying to pass cars on the outside. He's on the outside of Willie Howes right now. That's a battle for 17th on the racetrack, trying to clear the 19, trying to move up forward. Remember, he started 25th after coming out of that slow dash, so he is working his way forward already to the 17th spot now for Mccollum.
Ooh, he's got a little bit of a speed shot. You saw Colby Bryant was up in the wall of the 9 machine, so he was having some trouble, kind of got stuck up there. That was a little bit farther back. We were taking a look at Mccollum. Now Colby Bryant struggling in that 9 car as he's dropped all the way back to the 24 spot.
Brett Suggs has opened up a massive lead here. Not expected. I did not think anybody would be able to pull away like this. And he has. It's over half a second as Cole Cabrey got up the racetrack there. He was running second, and I don't know if Cabrey's maybe doing tire management here, has a pace he wants to run, but he just does not seem like he is on it right now.
Yeah, Cole Cabrey in that 54 machine, you said it, Jeff. He was all the way up to second. He just got passed by his teammate, Daniel Pope. Here comes another one of his teammates, Dylan Bates. Right behind them, Peyton Howell is coming forward in that 52 machine. All these guys with 75 laps at Dover, Jeff, that is a long time to run on a set of tires, and they only have one set. So some of these guys need to think about taking care of these things. Maybe that's what Cabrey's doing.
Caution is out. Trouble further back in the field. We're going to see if we can get a look at who it might have been.
Colby Bryant backwards on the backstretch of the number 9 machine.
So trouble for the 9 of Colby Bryant as the caution waves. And Bill, we were talking about, it just kind of looked like a self-spin there coming off the turn 4. We talked about long runs. These cars getting looser and looser. Going to be a management game of the right rear tire. And I talked to some drivers in the practice session, and one of the drivers, Elliot Carlson, told me he just kind of plans on picking a lap time and trying to run that lap time and get to the end of the race and try to manage his tires. And so I think with Cabrey, I think that's what we're seeing. I think he has a set lap time that he's willing to run. If he can maintain that pace, he will be good to the end. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing out of 54. It is going to be a management game.
Yeah, I think that makes it very fun, Jeff. I think that having a strategy in the middle of this race and having to do something with tire management, that is not something we generally see on the super late model. So I think having that happen tonight here at Dover with the speeds these guys are running, I mean, we're talking 100. I think I saw the highest, I say 170 miles an hour. That's me rounding up. I think I saw cars doing 167 down the front straightaway. That is incredible in the super late model.
Brooklyn with us in the Facebook chat cheering for Peyton Howell. Looking to see where Peyton is running right now. He is
currently in 8th.
Yeah, 8th position right now for the 52. Elliot Carlson lost a lap under caution last caution. Now he will get that lucky dog. So he's back on the lead lap. 29 cars still in this one. 29 on the lead lap.
Getting a bit of an extended caution period, our second caution of the evening. Both cautions, Jeff, kind of we'll call it mistakes, not car contact. That one was a self-spin, so unfortunate for that driver. He's going to end up in the back and did get a little bit of damage from that.
Yeah, Colby came down pit road there to repair some damage. Looks like AJ Rogers coming down pit road as well. So I don't see any damage on the 17. So I don't know if this is maybe he wants to check his tire wear. That is something you can do if you come down pit road. It will tell you what your tires look like. So, maybe just 17 wants to see how hard he's pushing it.
Getting a good look at that Brett Suggs machine, Jeff. He indeed does have a little bit of damage on the right front from that earlier dust up with Del Mears when Del Mears got into the outside wall. But Brett clearly didn't look like he was being affected in that 33 cars. He was doing a nice job out front, just pulling away from this field. You can see from our camera shot the massive field we have here at Dover. As Jeff said just a moment ago, 29 cars on the lead lap. This is the late model shootout series brought to you by Elite Performance Motorsports. Tomorrow night you'll have the Late Model Challenger Series brought to you by County Road Custom, that field should be excess of 60 cars, not all on the track at the same time, but we do expect to have, well, maybe not 60. We'll say somewhere in the 50s this week, maybe high 40s.
Yeah, we had 44 last week at Hickory, and we had over 70, I believe 77 drivers signed up last week. We had 44 show up for the race, and so we decided to go ahead and go to the wait list, say, hey, you've been waiting to get in the series. Some guys have been missing. Come on in, and we're going to get those car counts back up. And it is a list of drivers that were waiting to get in. So we're going to try to make sure we get full fields. I'm thinking we're going to have B mains all season long in the Challenger Series this year.
Well, it is an incredible series to be a part of. If you want to do super late model racing here on the iRacing service and you don't want to spend a ton of time doing your setups or buying setups from someone, I mean, if you want to buy your setups, get them from Elite Performance Industries, right? But if you don't want to do that and you just want to go fix setup racing, In the Zone Racing has it for you, and you have to start on Tuesday nights. You cannot come into this series. This is an invite-only series on Monday nights. It is the best of the best. But if you want to start it in the Zone Racing, you can start on Tuesday nights. But if you want to go official racing, find your setups at Elite Performance Industries. You will not be sorry. You can take a look at their stats, Jeff. We take a look at them every week, and it is insane.
Well, pace car lights are off, and pace car's gonna duck down pit road. It's gonna be Brett Suggs, and Del Mears back on this front row here at Dover. Suggs sends it green. He's gonna bring along Thomas Axum. Mears just was not able to get rolling. That's gonna put Hugo Paquette back a few rows here as Hugo just trying to find a place to go.
Down into turn number one. Boy, oh boy, these cars are flying through the corners. You can see them all side by side. Look at the speed these Super Late models pull through the corners. Side-by-side racing. Here comes Cole Cabry. Maybe he's done with his tire saving as Hugo Paquette way up the racetrack in the 33 machine. That's your quick time driver.
Yeah, Hugo just was not able to get going on that start as Del Mears kind of mistimed it, and that really hurt the 33. Hugo Paquette has dropped him deep into this field right now, running in the 8th position now.
Everybody getting strung out. We have a few races towards the rear. Actually, towards the middle, I guess we could say. Field is so large, it looks like the rear, but it's not. Here comes Fred Moreau, and that 5 machine had some damage on the front end. Another damaged car, Caden Fisher. They're battling side by side. Fred Moreau trying to make moves in that 5 car. Now Caden Fisher looking to the outside of some cars.
Hugo Paquette going around Cole Cabry. That's a battle for 7th now as Cabry going to fall backwards. And Hugo Paquette moves forward. Here comes Peter Fisher. He's diving underneath Aaron Abendroth into turn 3, and he's bringing along Alex McCollum. McCollum started 25th. He's looking for the 11th spot right now on the racetrack.
Oh, Fisher up into the outside wall in that 71 machine. Peter was flying through turns 3 and 4. Might have gone a little bit too hard as he got the outside wall. Now he's to the top side. In front of Abendroth. Let's see if he can keep it straight here. Looks like he got a little bit of damage on that right front. You can see Abendroth starting to put pressure on him.
McCollum goes around Cabry. He's now up to 9th, started 25th, and he is flying through the field right now. Cabry kind of sinking, but again, I think it's just a management game for the 54 Cole Cabry as he is now falling to the clutches of Peter Fisher here in the 10th spot.
Dustin R. Price wanted Elite Performance Motorsports to go for the win, and here comes Alex McCollum as he came out of the B main tonight in that number 1 machine. He is all the way up to 8th from his 25th starting position.
Still some battles going on further back in the field as Parker Traves and Caden Fisher battle. This is for the 17th position with these two. Traves going to go around the 18 car, take over 17th spot.
Parker Traves in the 60. You see Caden Fisher dropping in the line. They're catching. Actually, I'm going to call it catching. Mark Herzog is doing great as he came out of the B main as well. He's up to that 16th spot, that 57 car.
Though we actually missed it, Thomas Axum has gone around Brett Suggs for the race lead. So Suggs maybe just kind of pacing himself right now. The 13 jumps out to the front, and he's just kind of slotted in the line behind the 13 at Axum now, just kind of pacing the 13.
Here comes Daniel Pope. You see Del Mears getting into the outside wall in the 3rd position in the 1-1-2. Here comes Daniel Pope in the 31. He'll take 3rd position away. Let's see if Del Mears is able to rally. He wasn't. Here comes Peyton Howell in the 52 machine. They're going to be side by side for 4th.
Yeah, Howell moving forward as well. The 52 car, he started 10th. He is now up to the 4th spot.
Fast and furious here at Dover. Mistakes cannot be made in these race cars. You you are flying around this place. It looks like they're like winged sprint cars, Jeff, the way they get around these corners.
Aaron Abendroth and Peter Fisher battling now for the 9th position. Or actually 10th position. Abendroth up to 10th now. Peter Fisher back to 11th. Here comes Corey Bigley. Bigley started 3rd. He has kind of made it back into the 12th spot. Now trying to work past Peter Fisher.
Bigley got a little loose off of turn 4, just behind them. An even better battle as we see Mark Herzog underneath Jonathan Sanford. Here comes Parker Traves in the 60. They'll be side by side off of turn 2.
Alex Mccollum has gotten around Hugo Paquette to move Mccollum up into the 7th position. And it looked like Hugo kind of moved up the racetrack to let the one car go. And then just kind of follow right now and set his pace. But Alex Mccollum, he wants to get to the front. He's not conserving anything right now.
No, Alex is on the move in that one machine, all the way from 25th to 7th. He is flat. Puppy's in the booth, by the way.
Here comes Daniel Pope. He's looking for 2nd now. In the 33 of Brett Suggs, going to give him the bottom line. Going to say, hey, go ahead and take it. I think Suggs has kind of set a pace for himself as well right now. You're really seeing it. The strategies are coming into play. Who's willing to use up tires now and who wants to keep them for later?
Yeah, that is exciting. I'm very, very interested to see how this plays out as the race goes on. As you see, Daniel Pope moves up to 2nd. Thomas Axum getting away just a little bit, but you see a bunch of drivers kind of just biding their time, and I think Brett Suggs might be one of those drivers. He got out, led a few laps, got some camera time here and in the zone racing, and now Peyton Howell's going to look underneath because he's going to go for that 3rd spot.
Howell now around the 33 of Suggs. So Suggs back into 4th. Here comes Del Mears. Mears started on the pole in tonight's race, running 5th right now. Having a fantastic run. Del's had a rough season. He's on a lot of older equipment, sim equipment, old TSW wheels. So he's just been kind of struggling with it, working on getting himself some upgraded equipment and having a great run tonight.
Yeah, he's doing a great job in that 112 machine. We saw Alex McCollum drop down underneath Dylan Bates. That's going to be a battle for your 6th position as he's going to be side-by-side off of turn 4. Saw McCollum get just a little bit loose. Bates tries to get some momentum on the top side, but might just let the one machine go. McCollum on the loud pedal as he's going to take 6th spot.
Now from 25th to 6th, looking for that Hard Charger Award. That's the SD Ireland Company's Hard Charger Award here in the Late Model Shootout Series. And he is really the leader of that right now as he has moved up from 25th to 6th spot. Now chasing down Del Mears for the top 5.
Out front, Thomas Axum continues to lead. Daniel Pope is in 2nd. About a 6/10 of a second behind him. Peyton Howell, he is moving fast in that 52 machine. He is up to 3rd. Brett Suggs in 4th. Del Mears in 5th. And then you've got Alex McCollum on the charge in that one car.
You know, it's funny, Bill, we talked to Thomas Axum last week, and we asked him about Dover, what he thought about coming to Dover, and he said on our broadcast that this wasn't his cup of tea. He was running about 6/10 of a second up on Daniel Pope, and so far he seems to be doing pretty well here.
Yeah, you just never know, Jeff. These guys, they're just good race car drivers, so even if they don't feel like it's something that they're good at, they're still good at it. You see Thomas Axum out front leading, and Peter Fisher in trouble in the 71 machine. Got into the outside wall coming up turn 4. Bunch of cars having to take evasive maneuvers, especially the 21 machine of Aaron Johnson. He almost got in the back of that 71. Peter Fisher struggling right now in the 71.
Fisher trying to get back up to speed there. Aaron Johnson going to take a look to the outside now. Got up the racetrack, so that's going to open up the door for Jason Warren, that purple car, to try to move forward now as Aaron Johnson's up the racetrack. Here comes Zach Onan. He's going to dive to the bottom of the 32. Now he thinks better of it. These guys are just kind of maneuvering around, trying to find a place to run on the racetrack.
You got to wonder when we start to see tires go away, Jeff. I saw it. We went in car with Peter Fisher just a moment ago, and it looked like that car was starting to get a little loose on the 71 machine. Now, he does have some damage on that 71 car. You got to wonder, when you go really hard, are you wearing that car out a lot? We're going to start to see some cars get really loose. We talked to our setup builder, and he told us they're going to have to take care of that right rear. And if guys hadn't figured that out by running long laps in practice, they're not going to know now.
Alex Mccollum is starting to put the pressure on Brett Suggs. It's the battle for the 4th spot. Mccollum is there. He took a peek last time through 1 and 2. This time he's going to look again. Suggs going to close the door on him right now. Without one car, trying to get into the top 4 now. He is right there. Here he comes up the inside of Suggs into turn 3.
Battle for your 4th position. Brett Suggs up the hill in the 33 car. Alex McCollum around him in the 1. Move the 1 up to 4th. So he is up from 25th to 4th. 21 positions gained since we dropped the green flag on. And now we're working lap 36. Jeff almost getting a car a lap in that 1 car. Still has some work to do. You see your front 3 out in front of him by quite a bit.
Field really starting to spread out. I think lap traffic is probably going to be a concern of if this thing keeps staying green. Thomas Axum, he can see the rear of the field now from his cockpit view, and he's got Elliott Carlson up there. A lot of damage on the 09, but this could be a concern here. Lap traffic if this thing continues to stay green.
Willie Howes and Mark Herzog, they're battling for the 15th spot. They've got Fred Moreau and Aaron Johnson right behind him. Willie Howes able to make that move on Herzog. Here comes Fred Moreau in the 5. He's going to try to make the move as well. The reality is, Jeff, Elliott Carlson is way off the pace in that 09 machine. Got caught in that early wreck, ended up hitting the inside wall. There's a lot of gap between him and the rest of the field. So for the moment, I mean, he's about 7 seconds behind the next car in front of him. So it's going to be Elliott Carlson is going to be your first car lap, and then quite a bit of gap to the next set of lap cars.
Fred Moreau on the move, getting around Mark Herzog. Here comes Aaron Johnson. Remember, Aaron had to start at the rear because of the penalty from last week. He's trying to fight his way forward in that 21 car. New numbers on that machine. Used to be 78, but trying to move forward in that 21. And Herzog up the racetrack. A little contact there. We got the 21 out of shape going into turn 1.
Donald Clark having some issues in the 18 machine. Looked like he got the outside wall coming down the back straightaway, and that just kills momentum as we hear some beating and banging down the back straightaway. It looks like Peter Fisher up in the outside wall again in that 71 car. There's a couple of guys, these cars starting to slip and slide around as the tires start to wear. A couple of guys catching that outside wall.
Herzog holding on to the 18th position. Jason Warren behind him, Peter Fisher back there in the 20th spot. So some drivers starting to fade. It's starting to look like maybe some guys used up the tires a little too early. Maybe the car is starting to change and they're just not comfortable with the changes that's going on. Again, as you burn that, as you start to wear that right rear, it's going to loosen the car up. But you're also burning fuel, and the way that fuel, adjusts the rear end of the car, that can change the setup as well. So really, these guys are going to just have to adapt as the race goes on to an ever-changing driving style.
A lot of things going on here. Jeff Rivard just made the move for 21st. So he went around Zach Onan. AJ Rogers followed him in the 17 machine. Zach Onan struggling a little bit in the 42 car again. Don't know what the tire situation is. You can see Zach way up the racetrack in the 42 car. A lot of things going on here, Jeff. A lot of excitement happening. This is pretty neat.
Daniel Pope has now reeled in Thomas Axum. Axum, your race leader. That lead was about 0.6 of a second at one point. Now it's down to just a tenth as Daniel Pope has closed the gap on Thomas Axum. He has brought Peyton Howell with him as well. Howell just right there back in the 3rd spot. Got a bit of a gap back to Alex McCollum. So right now, 3-horse race out front.
So we're watching that group of 3 as you watch Daniel Pope try to hunt down your leader. Peyton Howell with a little bit of a different line through turns 1 and 2. And Jeff, you can see there's clearly a line that everybody wants to run off of turn 2. There's a very dark spot. I guess that's where everybody's putting their right rear tire coming off of turn 2, as everybody running just about the same line as they try to get speed down the back straightaway.
Peyton Howell starting to close the gap, putting the pressure on Daniel Pope now, and you see Howell starting to move up the racetrack as well. He's opening up that entry a bit, and he's getting nice runs coming off the corner. We'll see if that works for Howell, if he's able to find a way around 31 of Daniel Pope.
So your top group of 3, they've got a nice gap on Alex McCollum. So we're starting to work. We're going to go on to lap 46, so just about 30 laps remaining in this race. They're ticking off quick.
Yeah, we had 2 quick cautions to start this one, and then it's been clean and green ever since. And right now, these guys starting to really put in some long runs, and that's where you're going to start to see the tire management come into play. Who has been saving tires, who has used up too much, and right now these guys are going to put a lot of green flag laps on the tires.
So Thomas Axum out front, Daniel Pope in 2nd, Peyton Howell running 3rd. Alex Mccollum in your 4th position. Brett Suggs in 5th in that 33 machine right behind him. Dylan Bates in the 91. Del Mears in the 112 running 7th. Hugo Paquette, your International Short Track Association Quick Time Award winner. He's back in the 8th position. Eric Tracy running 9th. And Parker Traves has made his way in the top 10 in that 60 machine. Right behind him, Caden Fisher. Your points leader, Cole Cabrey, struggling tonight, Jeff, as he's running 12th. And then we've got a battle back here. We'll go take a look at that for the 14th position. Wet Willie Howes makes that move. Corey Bigley up the racetrack in the 28 machine. So Corey going to lose a bunch of spots as Wet Willie Howes was able to pull Fred Moreau and Aaron Johnson through that door. So you see Bigley all the way back to 17th now. But Jeff, a lot of spread out race cars on the racetrack and a lot of cars really close together.
Yeah, and you mentioned Cole, your points leader, running 12th right now. Not the run he's looking for at this point. Alex McCollum, 2nd in points. He's running 4th. The guy who's 3rd in points, he's out front. That's Thomas Axum. Dylan Bates sitting in the 6th spot. He's 4th in points. Brett Suggs also tied with Dylan Bates for 4th, and he is currently running in the 5th spot. So everybody up in the top 5 in points having great runs. Cavery starting to slide back a little bit in the 12th position and really needs to get up on his horse and try to get some more points out of this race.
The 25 laps remaining in this race. But when they are on it, Jeff, they're flying around this place. 23-second laps, just almost 24-second laps. They just take them off in a hurry. This is a mile oval, but they're absolutely moving around this place. So it almost feels like a short track, Jeff. Is it? I mean, it really does. Even though it's a whole mile, it's pretty much a super speedway for these cars. But they get around here quick.
Speaking of getting around here quick, Parker Traves on the move, started 18th. He just took over the 9th spot from Eric Tracy. Tracy back in the 10th, and he's under fire now from Caden Fisher. Remember, Caden had some issues early on, got caught up in an incident, had a little damage to that 18, came down pit road. He is already back at it, up to the 11th position now. So these guys starting to move forward. And we see Eric Tracy, he's one of those drivers just consistently right around the top 10. And every season finishes in our top 10 payout spots. And he hasn't really won a race here at ITZR, but he's just always in the mix in the top 10. And at it again tonight, running 10th, holding up Caden Fisher at this point.
Eric came at us with a new paint scheme tonight. Boy, that green machine. I imagine that's probably as we celebrate St. Patrick's Day this week. Or maybe he's got some sponsor that looks really cool. But he's got that shimmery look to that car, and that looks really, really cool going around this racetrack. But Eric Tracy doing a phenomenal job again this week in that 67 machine. So we see Parker Traves getting away from him just a little bit. Caden Fisher starting to put pressure. A good run from your 67 driver.
Yeah, one of those guys just always in the mix, but we never really get to talk about him too much. But having a fantastic run tonight. Another guy having a great run. Del Mears still holding on to that 7th position. Del, as we said, he's kind of on older equipment, but struggling since he came back to iRacing after taking a couple of years off. Kind of having a breakthrough right now, running 7th in this field.
I used to race against Del back in the day, and Del is a very fast super late model driver. Like you said, might be on some equipment that's holding him up just a little bit, as a lot of these guys got some of the newfangled stuff that you can get from all those companies out there that have gotten involved in sim racing. But wow, Brett Suggs up the racetrack as we see that. Suggs got into the wall off of turn 4. He might have shied away from the 09 machine of Elliott Carlson, who was a lap car that was down on the apron. Suggs caught the wall. Here comes Dylan Bates as he's going to try to take that spot away.
Yeah, Dylan Bates, a race winner just a couple of weeks ago at Nashville Mini Oval, so trying to work his way forward in the 91. Completely different racetrack to what he ran one at a couple of weeks ago. This is, what, a mile and 3/4 bigger?
Yeah, yes, it is. Very, very different. It wouldn't be a mile and 3/4. It would be 3/4 bigger. Yeah, but still. Very, very different. Brett Suggs tried to cross him over going down into turns 1 and 2. Couldn't make it happen. Del Mears right in the thick of things with this group of cars as well. But Brett Suggs going to hold off the 112. You see the 112 in the outside wall. That will kill his momentum. You just can't do that. We've seen that happening all night long as guys trying to get as much as they can coming off these corners. If you catch the outside wall, it breaks that momentum and you lose 10, 15 car lengths in the car you're racing.
Yeah, all that work you put in to gain on guys and you get ahead of people, and one slip up like that off the corner and it just all evaporates. So it's really just a matter of, who's going to make the fewest mistakes, who is going to stay the smoothest on the steering wheel. And those are the guys that are going to move forward in this one. And right now, you're starting to see it shake out with Thomas Axum out front. Has just been about perfect from the start. He's being stalked right now by Daniel Pope. Peyton Howell had caught those two for the lead and is kind of falling off the pace a bit here the last couple laps. Peyton, maybe those tires are starting to fade here as we're getting about 15 laps to go in this one.
Well, you also talked about lap traffic possibly playing a role in this race. They did put a lap on Elliott Carlson, who was struggling from an earlier accident. But Jeff, we're starting to see Thomas Axum is within a straightaway of the cars in front of him. So the back of the field starting to back up to your leader, Daniel Pope, right there in Thomas Axum's tire track. So you've got Mark Herzog, Jonathan Sanford, and Rick Rube. That will be your first three. And they go a lap down. Only about 14 laps remaining in this race. So will Axum even get there? We don't know. It's definitely starting to close the gap.
You know, sometimes when you're the leader and you start to see heavy lap traffic up ahead, you're wishing for a yellow. I don't think Axum wants to see that. If anybody further back has been saving tires, he wants to make them chase him down right now. His strategy has been get out front, get a lead, and hope this thing goes green, and a yellow could be disastrous to his game plan.
Yeah, I don't think Axum wants to see a yellow. I think that's going to cycle the tires. It'll make it a whole different ball game. Also don't know what Daniel Pope has for that 13 car. Daniel Pope, the savvy veteran in that 31. He is stalking the 13 machine as they head down the front straightaway. And we don't know if either one of these guys has anything left. And like you said, you're starting to see Peyton Howell fade back just a little bit. Maybe he's used up the 52. But what's happening with those two lead drivers, we will not know until I would say probably in about another 8 laps, Jeff, when it's just go time. And guess what? The price of poker will go up.
And we've had some experience racing with Daniel Pope and some of the top 3 NASCAR level stuff here on iRacing. And he's a pretty consistent, smooth driver. This is another driver that this is kind of in his wheelhouse. These big NASCAR style tracks. It's something that he's good at.
So those drivers just in front of the leaders, Jeff. Jonathan Sanford just put a move on Rick Rube. That was for the 26th spot. So they're battling with each other for position right in front of your leaders. You can see the leaders at the top of the screen as we watch this battle with that group of cars. They're not done with their race, Jeff, as they're starting to make moves on each other. Right now, Thomas Axum starting to gap Daniel Pope just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Daniel Pope was right there. He's not quite there anymore as you see that car length between them. And here comes Peyton Howell. Might have given his tires a little bit of time to cool. He's starting to move on these guys, Jeff. He's closing the gap.
Yeah, Thomas Axum still out front. Elliott Carlson going to move out of the way, go another lap down. The 09 car just trying to stay out of the way of the leaders right now.
Coming to 9 to go, Jeff, as they're starting to catch those lap machines.
Yeah, and I've been going through the field here looking at lap times, and just about everybody in the 24.2s, some drivers in the 24.3, but this field has just been tight since the get-go. And right now, everybody has the speed to run with Thomas Axum. It's just a matter of track position and how far behind you are of Thomas at this point.
Big battle on the racetrack. Peter Fisher making moves in that 71 machine. He's up to the 17th spot right behind him. Aaron Abercroft. Fred Moreau and Jeffrey Bard, those guys are all battling.
And lap traffic has entered the picture. Rick Rube going to be the first car to go a lap down. He is running 27th. He's going to move up the racetrack and let Axum go to the bottom. But Axum's going to catch him at a bad time, coming off the corner, not where you want to get lap traffic.
Yeah, Axum having a lift just a little bit. You see Daniel Pope going to sling to the bottom and go around Rick Rube. Daniel Pope closed just a little bit. Here comes Peyton Howell in the 52 machine. So lap traffic going to be interesting as we work these final 6 laps. We'll get 6 to go as we hit the line this time.
Next car to go lap down will be Jonathan Sanford. It'll be probably a couple laps before Axum gets there, as he is currently racing the 57 of Mark Herzog. And then a couple cars in front of them is Tom Dreiling and Colby Bryant. So Axum got to be concerned right now. Got to watch out for those guys that are racing hard in front of you, poor position.
Yeah, a lot of things happening right now as Jonathan Sanford and Herzog are going to go side by side right in front of your leader. Herzog up the racetrack. That might slow up Axum in the 13 machine again. Caught him at the wrong spot. Here comes Daniel Pope. Here comes Peyton Howells.
Yeah, that just really killed the momentum for Thomas Axum. That's going to allow Pope to reel him in. Peyton Howell now putting the pressure on Pope as well. So this guy's got a huge run as Axum just had to crack the throttle a bit coming off the corner.
Peyton Howell all over Daniel Pope. Will he try to make the move on the second place runner? Is he going to let Pope try to do something with the leader and then make the move? Howell and Pope nose to tail. Here comes Axum as he's going to catch. That's Jonathan Sanford in the 2-1-2, and again, caught him coming off the corner.
Yeah, he's got to be thinking, I just can't catch.
Oh, Pope sideways!
Pope gets turned by the 52. They got
and
together.
Saves it!
And Sanford got collected in that, and that's going to bring out a caution. So we are under yellow, and I don't think Axum wanted to see that happen. That's going to set up a green-white checkered finish to end this thing.
Pope saved that race car, Jeff. That was crazy. So we will go back and look to see what happened as traffic playing a role as Axum had to avoid. That was absolute insanity as we went onto the back straightaway. You see Axum out there in front has to avoid, and Pope had to avoid, and Peyton Howell just, wow, just there's no room, and he just turned left into Daniel Pope's right rear.
Yeah, I don't think Peyton wanted to give up that momentum that he had gained when Pope had to react to Sanford, and he tried to squeeze it up the middle 3 wide, and there's just not any room there.
We'll go to the Elite Performance Industries chopper cam for that one, Jeff. You know how we like the chopper cam. Yeah, I don't even know at the time of contact if Pope ever tries to move up the racetrack much. He's just down there, and Howells just moves to the left. We'll go to the EPI drone cam as well. Yeah, just at the moment of contact, you just got Howells moving left. To the drone cam, following Daniel Pope. You saw what happened there.
Well, this is going to be a disastrous one for Peyton Howell. That's going to send him to the rear of the field because he was the cause of the caution. So the 52 going to get a penalty here.
I think that one was pretty clear. Just like you said, just a ton of momentum from the 52 machine as he was trying to win this race here late in the going. And just turned left into the 31 car as they went down the back straightaway. So Peyton Howell down on the apron as he lets the field go by.
Yeah, it's a tough break for those guys up there in the front. Daniel Pope got quite a bit of damage to that 31 car. We're going to see how it works out for him in this green-white checkered. It's going to be tough to handle for him. Alex Mccollum, this is what Alex needed. He was about 2.5 seconds behind, running similar times to Thomas Axum. Now he's going to restart right behind the 13 car in that third spot. Brett Suggs back in the mix now, going to restart fourth. Dylan Bates fifth. Del Mears sixth. Hugo Paquette seventh. Parker Traves eighth. Eric Tracy ninth. Caden Fisher in the top 10. Your points leader Cole Cavery going to restart 11th. Willie Howell's having a great run in 12th. Aaron Johnson up to the 13th spot from the rear of the field. Corey Bigley 14th. And Jason Moore in 15th position.
iRacing gave us a really neat camera view there, Jeff, of a wall. I'll have to try to fix that for tomorrow night. I think we were inside the safer barrier. It's an interesting camera view. I did notice we've been seeing that. One of the speed shots on the iRacing cameras is of the inside of the safer barrier. So a little bit of an oops, and we'll take care of that for tomorrow night.
Well, I think we're going to see pace car lights go out here. Green, white, checkered finish. Just kind of crazy how this one worked out. We get all the way down to the end, and then a caution there. Just 3 cautions in this one, and it comes right at the wrong time for Thomas Axum. He is going to have to really watch his mirrors now. He's going to have a handful of cars that are really quick right behind him. Has anybody saved anything to challenge this 13?
I have to say, Jeff, I think that came at the wrong time for everyone. Because who knows? This is a crapshoot now. The price of poker's through the roof. And, who knows? You just shake them up and roll them. We'll see where we end up here.
Well, I don't want to jinx anything, but I will say we do have 3 green-white checkers available if we need them. This will be the first attempt at it, and hopefully these guys make it through 3 laps here.
So I'm worried about tire spin here, Jeff. I think coming to the green flag, tire spin is going to be an issue. These guys have old tires on these race cars. We had a huge green flag run. So let's hope that they don't spin the tires in front of the field and have an issue.
Thomas Axum gets to control the start. He spins the tires, but Pope didn't get rolling either. Here comes McCollum. McCollum's looking for second already at the start-finish line. And, man, everybody seemed to struggle there getting rolling.
Thomas Axum going to clear everyone. I hear some issues in the back. We stay green. Daniel Pope's up the hill. Here comes Alex McCollum in the one machine. He's going to be to the bottom, and we will go yellow. So there was an issue in the back.
Peyton Howell got turned around going into turn 1. Looked like just a little trouble there going, maybe shot up the middle and just not enough room there going into turn 1.
Let's see what happened to the 52 car. He ended up backing her into the fence, and we'll pick him up as he enters the turn. Goes into the corner. And I'm not really sure. It looked like the way his car jumped sideways might have been a little bit of netcode. We were way far away from that as we have limited camera views. Where it's a giant racetrack. Oh, he just gets down really tight to the door of the 81 machine as they entered. And yeah, I think there was a net. Well, they were really close together. Peyton Howell, like you said, drove it up the middle and then drove to the door. And I think there was a netcode issue there, Jeff. I think they didn't quite hit, but we'll take a look at it from the far chase machine. As you can see, Peyton get really close here, and then his car just slams sideways for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's just we talked to the guys, you know, the speeds that you're running through the center of the corner here, you got to be careful with the net code and the collision boxes. We kind of told the guys there, it's really something you need to be aware of. And right there, Peyton just getting a little aggressive. I think he's a little frustrated, trying to get what he can out of the end of this one. Dives it there alongside the 81 and just kind of gets net coded out of the way.
Yeah, unfortunately for Peyton, that was not the finish he was looking for. He was having a fantastic run in that 52 machine. If he hadn't had issues there with that lap traffic situation with the leaders taking evasive maneuvers to avoid lap traffic, he might have had a shot at the win tonight, but he ends up on pit road in a wrecked race car. That's the Moonlight Speed. I can't see the last word, Jeff. Is it the Moonlight Speed Factory on that car? Speed Connection? Moonlight Speed Connection? That Peyton Howell car?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
It's hard to get close. I can't get close.
Yeah, Moonlight Speed Concepts.
Concepts. I've heard of it before. I have. It's a cool looking race car.
So, Bill, we are going to shorten this one up.
Try to go back to green flag racing as quickly as we possibly can. Peyton Howell. No, he's in the pits. I'm sorry, Peyton. Thomas Axum going to be your leader. Alex McCollum, he is in second in that one machine. Daniel Pope going to be third in the 31. Brett Suggs fourth. Dylan Bates fifth. Hugo Paquette in the sixth spot. Del Mears running seventh. Parker Traves eighth. Caden Fisher ninth. And Cole Cabry 10th. That is your top 10. So we're going to try another green-white checkered. This time, single file restart as they did not make a full lap. That probably is good news for Thomas Axum.
Well, and some of the drivers, some of them weren't happy about cutting a lap. Obviously, we don't want to sit here on the broadcast watch them pace, so we're going back to green. But some of them are thinking that they have fuel left, and they didn't like to see that lap get cut. So Thomas Axum going to take us back green, but fuel mileage might be an issue here. Is Thomas Axum going to go, and he's got Alex McCollum bearing down on him. Daniel Pope here in the third spot. The 33, Brett Suggs going for third. Daniel Pope kind of shut the door there.
Daniel Pope didn't want to lose position. As now Brett Suggs going to be pushed by Dylan Bates down into turn number 3. Bates did not make the move as Suggs shut the door. Daniel Pope going to hold on to that third spot. Single file racing throughout the field. White flag is out for your leader. He'll come through turns 1 and 2 and on to the backstretch. Alec Mccollum, no pressure whatsoever. Axum into turn 3.
Yeah, Axum clear out front, starting to drive away from Mccollum. Mccollum just not able to rally. Coming off turn 4, Thomas Axum going to win the Superior Performance Motorsports 75. Mccollum ran out of fuel coming off turn 4, and everybody's saying we are out of gas.
Pretty lucky you cut that lap out there, Jeff, or that might have been a problem. 75 laps, just what these cars can do. As you see Peter Fisher down on the apron, he's out of gas in the 71 car. But Thomas Axum, enough fuel to come around, and I think we're going to get some burnouts in that 13 machine. Boy, your leader. Yes, sir. Enough fuel to do burnouts in the 13 car. So your leader was able to keep the fuel in it. Other drivers, not so much.
Thomas Axum, your race winner here tonight. The Superior Performance Motorsports 75. The first win for Thomas Axum this season. Your defending champion picks up his first win of the year. And Bill, that means we got 5 races, 5 different winners.
5 for 5. That is some serious parity in this series. Is Thomas Axum gonna pick up the win tonight in that 13 machine? Daniel Pope came home second. Brett Suggs in the 33 car, another solid top 5 and third.
So Thomas Axum, Daniel Pope, Brett Suggs, your top 3. We're going to try to get a talk to them. While we wait for them, we'll go through the rest of the lineup. Dylan Bates, 4th. Alex Mccollum ran out of gas coming to the line. He finishes 5th. Hugo Paquette, 6th. Del Mears, Caden Fisher, Parker Traves, Cole Cavery, your top 10.
Eric Tracy came home 11th. Willie Howes 12th. Corey Bigley in 13th. Jason Warren 14th. Aaron Johnson came home 15th. AJ Rogers 16th. Aaron Abendroth 17th. Zach Owen 18th. Jeff Rivard 19th. Kobe Bryant came home in the top 20 position. Mark Herzog 21st. Tom Dreiling 22nd. Fred Moreau 23rd. Peter Fisher 24th. Rick Rube 25th. Jonathan Sanford 26th. Elliot Carlson 27th. Peyton Howe relegated to 28th at the end. And last car in the event, unfortunately, Donald Clark. Not the night he was looking for in the 18 machine. He will come home 29th.
So that is your 29 runners. A fantastic race, and we're just waiting to see if we get any of our top 3 over here in our Discord. It looks like we can talk to Thomas Axum, our race winner. So Thomas, with us, race winner tonight, Dover, your first win of the season. And we talked to you last week about Dover. You said, this isn't my cup of tea. And then you come out and you win the race.
Yeah, honestly, unbelievable. I did not expect to do this. Kind of surprised myself, but I got very comfortable there. And just that's what happens when you get comfortable.
So I do want to point out, and Thomas, you'll love this. He was my pick tonight, Jeff. No reaction. Perfect.
Yeah.
but Thomas, I did pick you on the evening, so thank you for doing that for me. I appreciate it. But we had some drivers. The thing I want to ask, we had some drivers at the end that were complaining about fuel mileage, and maybe a tip for those Tuesday night drivers that are going to do this tomorrow night. What do you think you did different? I mean, we had some cars that weren't running in the top 10 that had fuel issues at the end. Was it a situation where you were lifting, maybe a little less throttle than maybe some guys were giving these cars?
As soon as I seen the points leader Cole from second just dropped. So we started looking at the numbers. I had Mccollum and Brett Suggs up top with me helping. We were all helping each other out with trying to get the fuel right, and we seen cars dropping back. Pope was dropping back, and so it was a little nervous. But that ending right there was crazy. My recommendation for tomorrow is if you are not in the top 10, pit for fuel, because you're gonna need it. We ended off right there. I don't have any fuel left. McCollum finished wherever he finished with no fuel. It was tight. I think I just ended off right there, sputtering into one. It was bad, but it was a good race.
Well, Thomas, we were watching you there at the end, and what was your game plan? It seemed like some drivers were really just went after it to save, and some went out there just to get to the front and drive off. And were you worried when that caution came out with the green white checker that maybe you'd picked the wrong strategy?
Yeah, a little bit. I was like, wow, maybe we should have saved. But they just kept reassuring me that we're good on fuel. But you never know because those numbers don't look right sometimes, but they assured me with 10 to go we're good, and looked down, it was just go time. And that yellow did mess me up a little bit. I'm a rhythm guy. If we go green for 75 laps, I'll be the best of my best, but as soon as that yellow comes out, everything throws me off. I have to try and find my rhythm again, but I was able to hold off Mccollum tonight.
Well, let me go with this, Thomas. You keep saying they. Who do you need to thank?
Yeah, for tonight, Mccollum and Suggs. Without them tonight, I probably would have had a nervous breakdown, and Pope would have flew right by me. He was flying tonight. He was all over me at the end there. Kept looking up, but just shout out to, like I said last time, my speech. The competition is who I like to thank. That's my help here. I race on Monday nights only, and I'm sharp only on Mondays. If I play this game more often, I'd be a little bit better, but just my competition on Monday nights, and then the Bernier's Liquors back home, Peter Bernier, Studios 10 Designs for the paint scheme, and you guys up in the booth for the broadcast.
Well, Thomas, next week we're heading to Oxford. What do you think about next week? Last week you said you weren't sure about the track. What do you think about coming to Oxford?
Yeah, give me that invert next week, hopefully. That's what we're going to play for, that invert next week.
I'm scared. I'm scared. If he played more than Monday nights, I can't even imagine what would happen. But Thomas, congratulations again, man! Fantastic, defending series champion. Pick up your first one of the season, and wow, you're gaining momentum for the rest of this drive to the playoffs.
Yes, sir. I'm glad I was your pick tonight. Hope to see you at the next one as well.
Awesome.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, we're gonna get a chance to talk to our second place finisher. So Daniel Pope going to come home with a second place finish tonight. Daniel, you were so close, and then there was a little bit of incident there that brought out that green white checkered. Can you kind of talk us through there what happened with you and the 52 of Peyton Howe?
We had a good car. We ran the whole race there clean. Trying to chase down Axum. He's so fast. It's hard to catch him, when he gets out there like that. And I run it as hard as I could to try to run him down. And we caught those lap cars, and the 212 car bounced off the wall. When he bounced off the wall, I didn't know how far he was going to come down, so I faded my car down the track, and the 212 got control of his car and started to pull it back up, and the 52 car, who had been, running 2 or 3 car lengths behind me the whole race, seen a hole, and thought he was going to get second there, and tried to shove it in the middle of me in a lap car, and he claims that I came up a lane and a half. I don't believe that, and it looks like he just tried to fit in a hole that really wasn't there, and wound up turning me into the 212 and causing that green-white checker. It's just going to be one of those situations where we have to agree to disagree on that, because obviously they're not going back off their stance, and neither am I.
Well, that is fair. Race Control did make the call on that one with the Peyton Howe machine. He ended up in the back of the field and had some issues moving forward. But Daniel, great run tonight, man. I got to give you credit. You were definitely stalking Thomas Axum there for that win. Do you think you had anything? I know we talked to him in the interview, and he said that he was nervous watching you behind him. I don't know if you were playing the part of Dale Earnhardt, making him a little bit intimidated, but do you think you had anything for that 13 car?
I doubt I intimidate anyone in this stuff anymore. He's a defending champion, and he usually beats me. So, there was laps I was a little quicker than him, and then there was laps that he was quicker than me, and it's just one of those situations where I don't think I ever was really going to pass him. I was going to give it a shot if he made a mistake, clip the apron, or wash up track or something and gave me an opportunity. I would try, but even if I got underneath him, I respect him a ton, and I wouldn't have made any aggressive moves or anything to try to mess up his race. He had run too good of a race for me to screw it up. I'm not one of those people that try to force the issue when I really don't have a place to go, so it gets me in trouble a lot, gets me run over a lot, but at the end of the day, I want to try to be as clean as I can anymore, and just try to help people,
Well, Daniel, we talked throughout the night about some of the guys that have the big 3 NASCAR experience here on iRacing, how that was going to help them out. We had a chance to run some Xfinity and Cup cars with you on some of the bigger tracks. How much does that help you when you take the Super Label of these larger speedways?
Honestly, it drove kind of similar to the B car, and so I think that helped me kind of adjust quickly to it. I think some of the guys that may not have drove those cars here kind of probably struggled with the way you kind of have to lift coming off the corners and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it probably helped a little bit. But where these cars are so light and so fast here, is like driving a missile. So just do your best to keep it on the bottom and not hit the fence off too. That's about the play here.
Well, I'm the thank guy, Daniel, around here when I interview everyone. You are Mr. Superior Performance Motorsports, part of that race team. Who do you want to thank? I mean, it's so hard to get to where, the level that you guys drive these race cars. So Jeff and I have both done it, but not at this level. We couldn't keep up with you guys. So it takes a village to get that fast and to just help you gain that speed. So who did you want to thank?
Just the guys over at Superior. Kent Hunley, he does an amazing job making the setups for this league and supporting Shock Eye Performance.
Yes, he does.
And I mean, I got to give a shout out to him. I feel like every week we got something we can race with, and you guys, you put up with a lot. You deal with a lot of flack before and after the race. I'm sure you're going to hear lots of flack from the 52 camp, but it is what it is, and just.
That's racing.
Thank you,
it's
guys.
Racing. Yeah, it's racing. No big deal. We appreciate that, Daniel.
All right, thank you, Daniel. We're going to let you go kind of celebrate that second place. You're starting to find your way up in the point standings and get you ready for the rest of this playoff challenge.
All right, man. I appreciate it, and thank y'all. We'll see you next week.
So third place finisher with us, that is Brett Suggs. Brett, you led some laps, and it looked like maybe you kind of let some of those guys go to save tires. What was your strategy throughout this one tonight?
Yeah, that was, a lot more fun than I originally planned. In practice, I was screaming in the helmet. I was hating it. I kept tearing the fence down. I was like, man, we are just going to try to survive this deal tonight. But no, it ended up working out. I found something late in practice that I could use for qualifying, kind of trying a different line than I did pretty much all practice, and seemed to work pretty good. And thanks to the invert, was able to be up front and then jump out to that lead. And I saw how much Cole was saving, so I kind of, I didn't really run much of a long run in practice. I didn't know what to expect, over the course of a long run. So I backed the pace down a little bit. Axum got to me, kind of just let him go, and then settled in for wherever we were running. But heck of a battle all the way down to the end. I was racing with Bates, fighting for tooth and nail, hoping this thing would turn, hoping I wouldn't tear down the fence, which I did a good couple of times. But it was a lot of fun there, and crazy for that fuel strategy to kind of come into play and cross the line with like 0.2 left in the tank. Man, we were almost running out there at the end.
Well, it sounded like we did have some drivers that did run out. So my question, I asked Thomas Axum the exact same thing, but do you think you did? I mean, we had some drivers that weren't in the top 10 that ran out of gas and had to be pushed to the line. What do you feel? I mean, obviously those guys were in the throttle a lot more, and we do have a race coming up tomorrow night with the development series. Do they need to be, I guess, cognizant of being off the gas a little bit more and actually, trying to save some fuel towards the end? I mean, obviously you don't want to run out, but what do you think the difference is with you and the drivers that did run out?
Yeah, I think it is a mix of just being off the throttle a little bit longer than the others. When I was dropping back in the pack there, I was really being cautious of how I was using the tires, but how I was using the throttle as well. And I didn't really think that we were going to run out of gas, because over the course of that long run, it said I was 2 laps to the good. The only time it'd be an issue would be had we had gotten green, white checkers like we did. I was like, okay, we just get one green, white checkered, we can make it. But if we get more than one, we're out. Luckily, I was clutch riding and pacing around in fourth gear to try to save. So I think definitely some advice to give for tomorrow's drivers is, like you said, be cognizant of the fuel load, and maybe take it easy in the early going. That way you might just beat people on fuel strategy to the end. But I mean, that's just assuming you get a long run, because if you have a bunch of cautions, that'll help out with the fuel deal a little bit. But same thing, you got to be wary of it, and just know that if you overuse it, you're either going to rip the right front off. I got a warning there with 3 laps to go that my right front tire was wearing out, and it reflected that when I looked at the tires there after the race. So just a lot of things to keep in mind between tire wear and fuel. But when it comes down to it, just definitely take advantage of the practice session right before the race. Like I probably should have. I kind of lucked into a third there at the end, but take advantage of the practice for sure, and it'll pay dividends by the end of the night.
Well, Brett, we know you're one of the busiest guys on iRacing that I think I've ever seen. So, what else are you doing this week, and what are you going to be doing on Twitch? I know you're streaming all the time. What else you got going on?
Yeah, I'm live right now. Shout out everybody at Team 33, twitch.tv/Brett633. We got about 23 people hanging out, just chilling here. I'm right now, what I'm doing is I'm getting set to run open late model stocks at New Smyrna Speedway. So I'm sitting on the grid, getting set to qualify here in just a couple minutes. But
It never ends for him, does it?
no,
Yeah.
that's a fact. But no, man, the rest of the week we got a lot of big things coming up. And the highlight of it is this Thursday, I was able to qualify into the eNASCAR College iRacing Series. So that's a pretty big deal. Got a lot of scholarship on the line, $3,000 to win, and that's at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So we're locked into that deal. That's going to be Thursday night, probably around 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern. And it's racing for my life, pretty much. That's what it's
awesome.
going to feel like out there. But appreciate it, man.
That's awesome.
That's a big deal. And then this weekend we're going to Cordell, working with a driver for my marketing business. So definitely busy, as you said.
Very cool. Well, you're definitely making a habit of making it onto the broadcast, Brett, and talking to us, and we enjoy that, interviewing you, and we're into your streaming thing. So continue that stuff, and congratulations for getting in the top 3 once again.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good night, guys.
Well, Bill, that will do it for tonight. Another fantastic race. Only 3 cautions, I believe, here at Dover. So these guys put on a great show, and makes me a little worried. Sometimes these guys have a great week, then they don't have a great week the next weekend. And we're headed to Oxford, which we know that can be wild. We're back to the tiny little bull rings next week at Oxford Speedway. That'll be the Canadian Legend Cars West 125, I believe. We'll have to double check on that.
Yeah, 125. Oxford is tough. Oxford is a very, very hard track to pass on. I feel like we're going to see a lot of bumper tag at Oxford. And this car doesn't react very well to bumper tag, so it'll be interesting to see what we get next week. It's probably not going to look like what you saw tonight. These guys put on a show tonight in the late model shootout series, and so it'll be interesting, Jeff. But we move forward. We'll see if we get another winner next week.
Yeah, we're looking for 6 and 6 next week. Thomas Axum becomes the 5th winner in 5 races here and moves ahead of Alex McCollum in the standings. So Thomas Axum up to that 2nd spot, just 4 points behind Cole Carey. That battle will continue on next Monday night, and we got a whole nother race tomorrow night. These guys are going to go at it again at Dover. The County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series will be in action 9 Eastern, live on Facebook, live on Twitch, live on our website, live on YouTube. You can find us anywhere. Make sure you're watching tomorrow night. It's going to be a blast. Huge field of cars expected for tomorrow night's race. We will see you then.